Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel at NGN TV Nigeria. Click on the subscribe button and be the first to get notifications.
The purchase recently of locally mined and refined gold worth about 5 billion naira from the Zamfara state government and the move to establish a gold reserve for the state is generating ripples from across the country. In their reaction, some Niger Delta activists have described the transaction as insensitive to their plight, as a region which, despite having been the melting pot of Nigeria's hydrocarbon industry for several decades, has been denied equal participation in the oil and gas industry. Correspondent Chika Bodozie has more.
Last year, the federal government launched the Presidential Artisanal Gold Mining Initiative to formalize and integrate local gold mining activities in the country. In July this year, the initiative recorded a resounding success through collaborative efforts of the Ministries of Mines and Steel Development, Finance, Budget and National Planning, as well as other federal government agencies. The first batch of artisanal mined gold bars was unveiled during a presentation ceremony witnessed by President Muhammadu Buhari. As part of the efforts to strengthen the Presidential Artisanal Gold Mining Initiative, the Central Bank of Nigeria has concluded plans to release the sum of 5 billion naira to Zamfara state government for the purchase of locally mined gold. This was made known by Zamfara State Governor Bello Matawale at a recent press conference in Gusau, where he disclosed plans to establish a gold reserve for his state.
For a start, we have purchased 31 kilograms, not grams, kilograms of gold, only mined and refined by our artisanal miners. We will subsequently continue to buy gold from our local miners so as to gradually improve the reserve. The precious metal will be deposited in a designated bank.
The Presidential Artisanal Gold Mining Initiative was conceived to deploy more efficient and safer technologies in gold mining across the country. It is also intended to put a final stop to illegal gold mining and banditry in Nigeria's gold belt, where no fewer than 500,000 jobs will be created. Despite the laudable objectives of this plan, it has generated severe criticisms across the country. Human rights lawyer Joseph Ono Silas recently wrote to the Central Bank of Nigeria demanding a cancellation of the gold purchase. In a letter addressed to the Central Bank Governor Godwin Emefiele, Mr. Silas described the gold purchase as illegal and a waste of scarce public funds.
The gold so mined is sold to the CBN at international prices. What that means is that the northern region will be richer in terms of what natural resources that come from them, and the Niger Delta region will remain poor in terms of environmental degradation resulting from activities of artisanal oil miners. So those are the inequities that are put in place, I call them structural inequities that leave the region worse off than it was several years down the road.
The federal government's concession of ownership and control of gold mineral resources to local miners in Nigeria's gold belt is equally giving most Niger Deltans cause for worry. They wonder why the federal government is yet to fulfill a pledge made in March 2017 by Vice President Yemi Oshibajo to build and transfer ownership of modular refineries to operators of artisanal refineries in the Niger Delta.
How many years down the line we're yet to see any of them that have been completed to add value, at least to reduce the pressure on the importation of petroleum products? That was the idea.
For several decades, Nigeria has depended almost entirely on the black gold for its economic survival without an equitable participation of host communities in the oil and gas industry. While they fault the federal government's policy of economic exclusion, concerned Niger Deltans have equally blamed their misfortune on the reluctance of state governments in the Niger Delta to encourage local participation in the oil and gas industry.
Our state governors, they have not made any attempt at all Rather, what they have done was to criminalize people that have been trying to show ingenuity.
Why can't our states establish companies that will participate, even if they are not in drilling, in some level of refining or some level of byproduct production? Why are we not participating corporately as states in the region?
The call on the federal government to replicate the presidential artisanal gold mining initiative in the Niger Delta is hinged on the premise that it would benefit artisanal crude oil refiners who, through their ingenuity, have sufficiently addressed the shortfalls in crude oil production over the years. With the federal government's avowed legalization of their operations, it is expected that artisanal crude oil refiners will be better equipped to provide more jobs and create wealth in a region that continues to grapple with the bedeviling trinity of poverty, insecurity, and underdevelopment.
Inside the Niger Delta,